right, welcome back to DragonWorks. 1983 Honda GL1100 Goldwing Interstate Edition. And before I start my diagnostics and taking everything apart here to get to it, I thought we'd just look it over real quick. I believe at one time this thing had every chrome accessory possible, trim or whatever. Goldwing lovers are drooling in their laps right now. Little extra chrome on the blinkers. Look at these engraved little chrome or stainless pieces here on the fairing. Extra little chrome pieces all around the fairing in the front there. Got the footboards on it. Look at that big piece of shiny chrome there. Needs a little touching up, but that's all right. Look around here. Look at this bumper with a hitch and all the lights on it. I'm not sure if they put a higher output stator in this. I doubt it, but I guarantee that's working on her. We're going to be checking all them wires and those plugs. As you guys know, some of these had a little bit of trouble there. And usually not the 1100s, but some of them do. When you start adding all this stuff, you got to be careful about that. But anyway, so yeah, customer picked this up. Obviously got a good deal on it. It's been sitting for a long time. It needs everything. And we'll see here in a second. We're going to start going over some of the stuff. Just thought we'd check her out. And so it's showing 46,000. I don't know if that's 46,000, 146,000, 246,000. We're unsure at this time. So we don't know a whole lot of the history and what have you, but we're going to do some diagnostics on it. So the customer actually, when he bought it, instead of unloading it from the trailer, he brought it by for me to take a look at it. Of course, at the time, I was a couple months, before I could get to it. And he said he just wanted me to check it out. Battery's completely dead. So I'm going to stick a battery in it. We know one thing we got to get's a battery. Stick a battery in here and we're going to find out what's going on with it. Do some, so we'll start it up if it'll start. We'll see how it runs and all that kind of stuff. And most likely we're going to have to go through the carbs because it's been sitting quite a while. And I remember the fuel was kind of stinky in it. So get a good look at her before we start taking her apart. We'll get one more little walk around here. Sorry, it was a little tight right there. All right, folks, I got us a spare battery in there. Let's give it a shot and just see what we're working with here. These carbs, fortunately, do have an accelerator pump. I'm going to give it 2 pumps, full choke. Let's see what she does. Well, that's never a good sign. Yikes, that felt like it was hydrolocked. All right, we're going to have to pull the plug out. See what's going on. I wasn't expecting that. All right, let's pull the plugs out and see if we don't have some cylinders filled up with fuel or something. All right, guys, this is not what you want to see when you pull out spark plugs. That's water. Let me get it to focus. There you go. Sorry. That's water in there, in between that electrode. You see it? Yeah, all the plugs are wet. And there you can see the water in between the electrode. That's never good. I hit the starter, it just kind of went kunk. And yeah, that usually tells me that we're hydrolocked. So let's, oh, you can even see the water in there. See it? Down the spark plug hole. Well, you can see the reflection. How in the world? Oh, man. Look at that cylinder. It's full of water. Hold on. How in the world? I'm pretty sure it's water. Look at that. Let me shake the bike here. So, shaking the camera too. See it? Stand by. I'll get something to stick in there. Okay, I thought maybe this might be the best way to show you. I just took some paper towel and wadded it up. Also, that's kind of safe for sticking it down in there. Sorry about my hairy hand. Let's just stick that in there. And then look. Yeah, that's wet. Let me smell it. No, it's just water. That is straight up water. How in the world did that water fill up that cylinder? It's full, folks. I don't know if you can see that. I can shoot it out. I mean, I don't have much choice. That's what's about to happen here, so. Oh boy. Oh man, I don't want to mess up my thing on the wall. I'm going to have to block it. I was going to just shoot it out and show you, but I got that nice banner up there and it'll hit that head on, so I had to put some kind of deflector. Oh, this is not good. Not a good way to start at all. Okay, guys, kind of a weird angle, but what I'm going to do here, I got the other side deflected. I'll show you that. I've got all the spark plugs out. I see this one hole's full of water. I'm going to hold this piece of cardboard up here so it doesn't splash up on my wall. And I'm going to try this. I can't really see the camera. It'll probably try to blow this out of my hand. Okay, so you can't see the cardboard anyway. Here it is, by the way. But I'm going to hold it out here. And you're going to see what I mean here in a second. How am I going to do this without getting splashed? Hold on, let me go on the other side. Oh, I got it on the other side too. All right, get ready. I'm just going to bump it. Did you see it? Oh my God, you see it? That was a doozy that time. I think it's got good compression. All right, let me do this off camera so I can concentrate. That almost blew that out of my hand that time. Look at all that water. Oh my goodness. I'm a little puzzled here how that got in the motor. I just thought of something scary, but I can find out here pretty quick. I thought about what if they didn't have antifreeze in it and they just had water in it and it froze because it's been really cold here lately. Something cracked or something like that. Because as of right now, I'm not understanding where that water could have come from. That much water to fill up the cylinder, even if it was left outside. But it's kind of puzzling. But now I'm going to check on the coolant and see what's going on and make sure we don't have a serious problem here. So yeah, stand by. Sometimes situations go from bad to worse real fast. You never ever want to see this. I haven't even got that far. I just thought I'd check the overflow tank to see if I could see any nice colored coolant in there. And I didn't see, so I stuck my finger in there. And you ain't gonna want to see this. Yeah, that's oil and coolant and whatever mixed. And it's in the overflow or the expansion tank here, which could possibly mean we've got blown gaskets or cracked head or something. Apparently the oil and coolant might have been mixing. I don't know yet. But yeah, this is oil, motor oil, in the coolant expansion tank. So that's never good. Yikes. So we got to dig a little further, folks. That's not good. You never want to see that, but that doesn't mean anything yet until we know for sure. I looked at the oil window, there's oil in there, and then I stuck a zip tie down into the fill neck and checked before I even tried to start it, and it had oil, and actually the oil, here, I'll show you. I'll show you what I found. Well, now the thing's dirty, hold on. Stand by. Okay, so way back in that little hole is a sight glass, and I can see where it looks like it's got some, black oil in it. So what I do to double check is, let me see if I can get the right angle here. This is kind of hard on the Goldwing. I usually take a zip tie and I'll run it down in there and pull it out. That way I can check the oil. And this oil actually don't look milky, which is odd. You can see it dripping, just looks like black oil there. It's not milky, so there might be some hope. Let's dig a little further. Folks, this is a perfect example of how things take a U-turn on you in the blink of an eye, man. I was expecting this thing was going to run, but just didn't run good and needed a carb cleaning and brakes and stuff like that. Boy, this is very unexpected here. So let me dig in a little further, find out what's going on with this thing. Okay, guys, interesting enough, I pull off the airbox cover, and the airbox has got water in it, and if you look down in the bottom down there, there's water in the manifold. A little bit hard to see, guys, bear with me. You can see it down there. Yeah, I think you can see it on this side. There you go. See it down there on the left hand side? Yeah, that's water going right down through that one carb, right into the damn cylinder. Right here. Right into that cylinder. Boom. How in the world did that water get in there? The air cleaner I got sitting over there, it's not even wet or anything. Oops, sorry guys. I got the camera backwards here in order to get that shot. But yeah, that's crazy. I'm still not sure where that came from. It doesn't make much sense. Because nothing else is wet. The lid wasn't wet, the element wasn't wet. Unless it was at one time, and then it all evaporated except that little bit or something. But sure enough, this airbox had a lot of water in it one time, looks like. I just don't know how it gets in there. Yeah, so I'm thinking, it smelled like fresh water. It didn't smell like it'd been through the coolant system or anything. So I guess it is just rainwater or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to look a little further in this coolant system, because now we got another situation. Why did this expansion tank have oil in it? That's real weird. So, oops, sorry once again, guys. Wiggle it just a little bit. Let's get up here to the cap. Get you on the other side. Let's look down in that, in the radiator there. First, before I do that, let's look down inside of there. Yeah. I don't think it's supposed to look like that, folks. That's like brown oil, chocolate milk situation. But then, hang on. Then I come around here, check this out. Hold on, I got my darn tripod. Yeah, if you look at the expansion tank, you see what I see? From here up, green, here up, brown. Oil, milky. You can see it's darker, so kind of hard to tell, but I think you get it. From here up, green, then there's a lighter brown, and then there's a dark brown. Okay, here we get a better look. Oh, there's some antifreeze coming through when I tilt it. I got the tank out. Yeah, you can see. It's kind of hard to tell down in there, but yeah, we got a little chocolate milk. And if we tilt it far enough, like you saw, some antifreeze came through. Oh, look at that stuff in there. Oh my. Where in the heck? Look at that. All right. Stand by. I'm going to pop that radiator cap right there. That's going to tell us something. Oh my, I was afraid of this. Bad news, folks. Let me get the light. All right, it's going to be hard to see, but if you look down in that hole, it's not green. That's brown. That's oil. It is somewhere along the lines now or before the oil and coolant was mixing. Now we got a coolant system full of oil, and most likely the coolant is also down in the bottom of this motor. Yeah, wow. This took a crazy turn on me really quick here today. I did not expect any of this. I know the customer certainly didn't, but oftentimes there's a reason why a bike is sitting. People stop riding it, whatever. Sometimes it's just, completely innocent and, they just get tired of riding for a while or something happens. They let it sit, it won't start. Then next thing you know, a couple years go by, then they end up selling it because it's just sitting. Or the other scenario is they know something's wrong with it and they, put a cheap price on it and tell somebody, oh, it just needs a carb clean, and boom, this is what you get. All right, so next we're going to be draining out the oil. Craziest part of it, doesn't seem to be any coolant in the oil whatsoever, just oil in the coolant, which is, don't ask me. I got to think that one through here a little bit, but yeah, the oil's dirty, but it doesn't have any coolant in it whatsoever, but yet the coolant has oil in it. Oh man. So most likely it's probably the water pump seal or something like that that is pressurized oil getting in the cooling system, but it's not getting back into the oil. I mean, it would eventually if it was ran like that a lot, but somebody probably figured this out pretty quick. And then looks like they started working on it because my customer and I both noticed that somebody had start taking some stuff off of this bike. They were probably getting ready to, they thought they blew a head gasket or something. I don't know. That's, maybe that's just a wild guess, but I got a feeling somebody knew this when they sold it. That was probably why they sold it or why they stopped riding it or whatever. Or maybe they didn't even realize it was happening. It's not always, something bad, but usually when somebody just buys a bike and it has these situations, it's usually something's up. But anyway, okay, so yeah, not what I expected today at all. This really threw me for a loop. So I got to find out what's going on with the cooling system. And like I say, most likely it's the water pump seal or something like that. It doesn't seem that there's any damage to the motor yet, but we're going to find all that out through more diagnostics here. But one thing I am going to try to do is I got all the water out. I pumped it for a while. I put WD-40 in there, which is a water disbursement, and ran that through for a while. And so one thing I wanted to do to this bike today was I wanted to try to run it because I think it does run. let it get a little bit warm, not enough to really get the cooling system activated. Then I can stop and then I can check all these cylinders warm and get a good compression test for my customer, and so on and so on. That's what I was trying to do originally. So stand by. Okay, guys, once again, I'm gonna see if this thing will run, and if it runs, how it runs, and then hopefully get a little bit of warmth, and then I'll go around and do a compression test on all these cylinders. I don't know if it's gonna run, but let's go back to where we were. We're gonna give a couple squirts of fuel. That's probably dried up by now. Full choke. And let's see what happens. Probably gonna, if it does start, it's gonna smoke a lot. Oh my. That doesn't sound good, does it? And maybe that's what it did when the customer brought it by. I can't tell if we got a, if that's like a bad crank bearing, or if it's just been so long since it ran, it's just kind of just running on one or two cylinders. Well, we got to figure it out, huh? Okay. Well, guys, man, I don't know. That don't sound good. Well, guys, I think I'm going to end it there for now. I got to do some diagnostics, some severe diagnostics on this thing. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on here. I never would have thought it. Ay, 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 ay. All right, guys. I guess I'll stop it on this one, and I'll pick up on another video once I get some things figured out. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Peace out.